Kratom Withdrawal. Is it real? What's it like? All right, friends, here we go for another Kratom video in the Kratom series. My name is Adam, and I go by Coach Hardgains on my Hardgains coaching platform. I've been coaching bodybuilders and recovering addicts for a very long time, and I have been teaching, mentoring, and coaching many people to overcome their addictions, replace them with bodybuilding, and live the best life possible. Now, today's topic is going to be a sensitive one. There may be some of you that shouldn't be watching this because if you're a snowflake and if you're afraid of a little heat, don't watch this one. If you're a sensitive person, you shouldn't watch this either. Today's topic is going to be on Kratom Withdrawal. Is it real? What's it like? Who gets it and why? Are the PAWS real? Now, the reason this is a very sensitive topic is because there are so many ignorant minds out there, and if you are one of them, I'm sure that that statement just rubbed you the wrong way because you know who you are, who say that we are all the same. There's a lot of crazy things going on in society right now. I'm not even going to get into that. But to say that we are all the same, prone to the same addictions, and suffering the same withdrawals is the most ignorant statement that I've ever heard in my life. Literally. We are all so individual, and that is what makes us who we are, correct? Most people are intelligent enough to actually acknowledge that. What makes us who we are? Well, we have a genetic makeup. And each of us has something called an individual biochemical profile. That's what makes us individual. That's what makes us special, specific. That's what makes us who we are. Do you believe that you're just like everybody else? Well, then that's too bad, because that's going to really hinder your progress as a person. But I know that we're not. And as a coach, I have been coaching thousands of people at this point. I have come across individuals all across the spectrum, from here to here and everywhere in between. That is how different we all are. When it comes to addiction, there's a reason why we don't all get addicted to the same things, in the same ways, at the same times, for the same reasons, etc., right? And then there's a reason why we don't all suffer withdrawal the same way. Everything is individual. So first I need you to open your mind and understand that we are all individual, and you want to be individual, don't you? Like, don't you want to know that there's only one of you? So when it comes to addiction, there are addictions all over the place, right? There's drug addiction, alcohol, cigarettes, nicotine, porn, sex, lying, many other things. So there are so many factors involved within our chemical makeup that surround our potential addictions, therefore leading to those potential withdrawals. Okay? Now, let's get specifically to Kratom, because that's what this is about. Most people are asking the question, does Kratom result in withdrawal? Yes and no. And there's everything in between, and you have to be aware of that. It all depends on how much you take, how frequent you take it, how long you've been taking it, what kind you take, how strong the alkaloids are, what other substances you take along with it. There are so many factors involved that for anyone to say definitively, Kratom does not cause withdrawal, is blatantly absurd. Ignorant and absurd. So over in Thailand or in Indonesia, where Kratom is found readily, just growing out of the ground, as naturally and organically as it possibly could be, the farmers used to pick off a leaf or two, crumple it up, go like this, put it in their lip, kind of like dip, and just suck on it while they were working. Kratom had analgesic effects. That means that while they were working in the fields, working labor, Kratom actually helped their body get through the pains of labor. Labor pains. No, sorry. But it also provided them kind of a mental stimulation. Because remember, Kratom is psychoactive. Because we know that Kratom does function on the opioid receptors throughout our body. Okay? But many other places as well. That's for a later video, but please watch my other videos where we talk about that a little bit more. So that is what it was essentially designed for, let's say, or utilized for in its purest function, okay? So here comes the white man and he says, oh, that's a cool product. That feels pretty good. Let's magnify it by 1,000. So let's put it in powder form and in capsules, and let's take 3,000 times the amount that these farmers are taking, and it's going to feel pretty good. And it sure does. But what happens is, for many of us taking Kratom for pain relief, for pain mitigation, pain management in replace of pain pills, opioids, narcotics, other pain meds, even alcohol, because many people fight their pains with alcohol. This is where the problem arises. This is where so many people are saying the wrong things. So many of you out there in YouTube world are promoting false statements, okay? Kratom absolutely will result in an addiction, a dependency, when used by someone who would be considered an addict. If you're not an addictive personality or addictive by nature, no, Kratom's not going to become addictive. If you're an addict currently hooked on fentanyl and you replace your fentanyl addiction with Kratom, you will absolutely become addicted. Not just dependent, but addicted. If you're using Kratom to come off Suboxone or heroin, but in replacing Kratom for your other DOC, your drug of choice, it is about harm reduction. Kratom is absolutely 100% about harm reduction, meaning Kratom is your better option than heroin. Kratom is your better option than Suboxone. Kratom is your better option than fentanyl. So you are lessening the harm by replacing your drug of choice with Kratom. It's a mitigatory effect, okay? Kratom helps in so many ways, but there's a threshold. If you stay within this certain threshold of use, Kratom has mostly benefits. If you go above and beyond that threshold, you will start having adverse effects. You will start having the negative side effects. And yes, that's with anything else. But this is what is not being discussed properly. Because the people promoting Kratom typically are the ones within this lower threshold, using it minimally. 3 to 5 grams a couple times a week. That's respectful. No, you will not get withdrawal symptoms if you are using Kratom respectfully 3 to 5 grams a couple times a week. But if you start using 10 grams multiple times a day, every day for 5+ years, because I want to very specifically tell you, 5 years is a very important duration to be taking Kratom. And we'll get into that later. Because people taking Kratom up to 5 years do not have the experience of those of us who have been taking Kratom 5 to 10 years. Very different set of experiences and what that does to the body. But we'll get to that later. So again, if you've been using Kratom respectfully, the way they suggest on the package, no, you're not going to get withdrawal symptoms. If you are also someone who has a lower range of opioid receptors within your body, it's going to affect you differently than if you're someone with a higher range of opioid receptors in your body. Withdrawal symptoms from Kratom are very real. I started taking Kratom 8 years ago in capsule form. I started by taking 2 capsules one time. Then a few hours later, I took 4 capsules. And I pretty much stayed at 4 capsules 3 times a day to replace my pain medication and my ibuprofen use. And actually, it replaced a lot of my caffeine use as well, because I also did get some stimulation within my analgesic benefits. Okay, so it fought my pain, but it also gave me some energy. But Kratom saved my life. Kratom gave me my life back when I found it. And that is why I will always be an advocate for Kratom. But I am an advocate for truth. And my experience of 8 years of taking Kratom daily in a wide range of doses is more than most people out there can offer you. And I'm saying this for a specific reason, because there are so many people that you have to stop listening to because they don't know jack. A lot of them have their own Kratom companies they want to sell you. A lot of them have big platforms. They're putting out the wrong information. Even the American Kratom Association has representatives who are putting out false information. They're putting out information as if they've never taken it, or as if they take 3 grams in their coffee once a week. But that is not what the majority of Kratom users are doing, is it? Because if you look through all of my Kratom videos and you read through the comments, so that you don't want to be so ignorant, which I really strongly encourage you to do, read through all of the comments on all of my Kratom videos. More people are coming to my videos saying, I need help getting off. I am in hell. I am on a roller coaster. People are at the end of their rope because of their Kratom addiction. That's a problem. So Kratom withdrawal is so real. I have taken a lot of narcotics to help deal with my pain. I have taken high doses, high amounts of Dilaudid and Oxy, Tramadol, Hydrocodone, all of those. And even then, my withdrawal symptoms coming off of actual opioids, because again, my opinion is Kratom is not an opioid nor an opiate. That is my opinion from my experience and my education. Okay? It needs to be studied further. Go watch my other video here, whether Kratom is opioid, opiate, or neither. Okay? But if I'm coming off opioids, I can withdraw from them in a couple days, cold turkey, even from high doses. And yes, high doses that could have stopped my heart a dozen times over. But I can get through that with minimal side effects. A little bit of cold sweats, a little bit of uncomfortable, a little bit of constipation, then a little bit of diarrhea, then a little bit of can't sleep, then a little bit of some other things, the runny nose, etc. And in a few days, 2 to 3 days, I'm pretty much out of it as long as I'm exercising and sweating shit out of everything. Kratom is an entirely different story. The Kratom withdrawals for me are an absolute nightmare. And I know I'm not the only one. There's so many of you who have said the same thing to me. I would say hundreds at this point, if not approaching 1,000 people, have told me specifically through my channels that Kratom withdrawals are the worst ever experienced. From meth users, heroin users, coke users, alcohol, weed, whatever it is. I know weed, whatever. Alcohol. Kratom withdrawal is so real. And that is why Kratom must be treated and used respectfully. What is Kratom withdrawal like? It's a nightmare. And here's the problem. Kratom gets into so much more in your body than most people even know. Kratom can cause secondary hypogonadism. That means it can destroy the body's endogenous hormonal function. It comes in and just kind of destroys everything. Over time, again, over time, past that 5-year threshold. Kratom raises prolactin. Kratom raises your PSA on your blood work. Kratom gets in and affects the central nervous system so heavily. And if you don't think so, why is the restless leg syndrome so bad? Why are all the nerves in your body on fire when you're going through Kratom withdrawal? Because it gets into the central nervous system. It gets into the CNS. Why do you think gabapentin or naturally GABA are used to mitigate Kratom withdrawal? Because those two products go after the central nervous system. They soothe the CNS during Kratom withdrawal. And again, we'll talk about Kratom withdrawal products in another video. But that is why gabapentin is the #1 used medication, in my opinion, for Kratom withdrawal. And GABA, which is a precursor, is a phenomenal product in the right doses for the right people, along with tryptophan is what I've found, to also mitigate those PAWS in the central nervous system during Kratom withdrawal. Okay, this has already been a lot of information. I'm trying to make these videos in a way that just gives you blasts of info that you can really just kind of ponder on and then continue to think about or apply to your life and see how this affects you. But ultimately, everyone out there should know Kratom withdrawal is absolutely real. It is there, and it will get you, and it can destroy your life if you are not careful. But again, Kratom cannot become a controlled substance. It cannot. So there has to be a happy medium, a medium ground. There's these people out here, these Kratom advocates, who are saying, no, Kratom's safe, 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 safe. And they're ignoring all of the real problems of Kratom because they want to make sure it doesn't become controlled. Then these other pharmaceutical companies or everyone else in the FDA and governmental regulated, those guys are saying Kratom is dangerous, regulated, controlled substance. They're wrong also. Both of these categories of people are wrong. They're both also kind of right in a little way as well. But there's a middle ground. And ultimately that middle ground is what I'm here to advocate for. The truth. It's everything. Okay? And what more? And who better to bring you the truth than somebody who's been taking it every day for 8 years, that also studies hormones, that also coaches recovering addicts and current addicts. Okay? There's so much to Kratom that I want you all to be aware of, but at the same time, use it respectfully, and it is a blessing. Use it disrespectfully or improperly, and it will become a curse. End of story. That's all there is to it. All right, guys and gals, thank you for watching again. Another Kratom video. Listen, help me get this stuff out. Promote the channel, promote the videos, pass them around. Make sure that everybody in the Reddit forums knows about this information, because most people don't. And now we've got so many young people, especially in the fitness community, especially bodybuilders, turning towards Kratom because it has so many benefits. But they don't even realize. You use it incorrectly and you're going to destroy your hormonal function. Destroy it. Even me on TRT and other exogenous steroids, the way that my body reacts to those exogenous hormones is very different on Kratom than off Kratom. Very. We'll get into that in another video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the other channel, give this video a like, watch the other Kratom videos, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section. All right, Happy New Year. Stay tuned.